All right, welcome back to the Kraken Power Podcast. We're your hosts, Josko and Brandon, and in this episode, we're going to be talking about how to actually enjoy working out. So stick around and roll the intro.
Welcome back to the Kraken Power Podcast.
So if you've ever been to Kraken, the motto for our gym is the gym for everyday people who are not gym people. And this resonates with a lot of people when they first come in, because they will come into a sales consultation. I'm sitting down with them and I'm trying to get out, okay, well, like, why do you want to do this in the first place? And a lot of people will explain to me, like, they know that working out is good for them. They know changing diet is awesome. They need to make these changes, but they just can't get themselves into the gym because they don't quite enjoy it. And they've never really resonated with someone who's really enjoyed working out. So this episode here, we're going to go over a whole bunch of different kinds of reasons on how to make your workouts fun and enjoyable. Because if you're enjoying your workouts, if you're enjoying coming to the gym, you're going to inevitably get results because you're going to be doing this for a much longer time rather than a shorter time.
Yeah, for sure. And I was actually so funny that you brought this up, but I was on ChatGPT going like, how do I make our slogan shorter? So the gym for people for non-gym people.
Okay.
That's pretty good, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess.
It's like the gym for people who aren't gym people.
I know. I like it's kind of like a tongue twister.
Yeah.
Say it 5 times fast.
Yeah, but I totally agree with that. It's like the barrier for a lot of people is the fact that they don't really like working out. And it doesn't just stop at working out at the gym. Like they don't like any kind of movement at all. And it's funny because they'll exercise, they'll move their body and be like, oh, I feel so good. But then it's so hard to bring yourself to do it. So it's usually because, just like most things in life, you made it really hard for yourself. Like you didn't, it has to be a fun experience. So we're going to be talking about number 1 here, which is adding variety to your workout. So we're not, we're a gym. We want you coming to the gym. By the way, krakentraining.com, sign up. But we understand that that's not how most people are going to enjoy exercise. So, when you come to you can come to the gym, do your 2 times a week or something like that. And then outside of that, you can go for walks. You can go for runs. You can go swimming. There's so many things that you can do that aren't related to the gym. And a nice balance of both is obviously ideal, because then you can get a little bit of strength training in, and you can get your cardio doing like playing soccer or something like that. But adding that variety is going to be so huge to help you actually enjoy it.
Yeah, I think a great example of this is one of our trainers, Ross. He's actually a competitive bodybuilder, but he loves going to yoga. That's his mix-up day. Is he'll crush his legs and then he'll just go and do like hot yoga right after.
But he also plays hockey too.
Totally.
So, and we have tons of clients who do both. They come in here, they do weight training, they do jiu-jitsu, they also play soccer, they maybe play hockey. So they found a way like to actually have some variety and enjoy it. And maybe you don't like the weight training aspect of it, but it's not like you have to do it 5 days a week. It's only like once or twice maybe. And then you have the other days where you're just filling in the gaps. So, and then another thing that I just want to mention, because I don't think this is, I guess, we'll talk about it after. But do you have anything to chime in on the variety?
I think that like training should be something that kind of spices your life up rather than like associate it with something that's going to be like always hard. And I've always looked at training as a way to enhance my ability in other sports or enhance my ability in life. So it hasn't been something that I've associated with like I have to do it a certain way, right? It was always a tool to get myself better at soccer, for instance. It was a tool to get myself better in life. And just me being able to mix up different training modalities, like doing cardio certain days or going for a really heavy strength training day, has really allowed me to do this for a long term rather than just setting myself to something that I'm condemned to come in for.
Yeah, for sure. So the next thing is gamifying it. And so this is just, getting that 1% better at something, or maybe starting a completely new, different exercise and then getting better at that exercise. Like, you have to find a way to gamify your experience. Like, people get sucked into video games for days,
Just increasing your stats.
Yeah. And you can do that with your life. Can you jump higher? Can you lift more? Can you run faster? There's all of these ways that you can improve yourself. Can you, maybe right now when you bend over, you can reach to your knees, maybe that's your start. But if you keep doing it consistently, maybe eventually you'll be able to touch your toes. So that's how you gamify the experience. And those little tiny wins over time just make it so much more fun.
Totally. I have one client that I've been working with for about like 3 or 4 months now. And he came to me originally for weight loss. So one of the things I always had him do was hit the rowing machine, because it's a really quick, high heart rate activity that we can just get him doing. And what I got him doing was actually looking at his stats on the rower. So we kind of gamify it, where it'd be like, okay, this round you want to get this much amount of wattage in under this amount of strokes. Right? So he would really try to improve his efficiency, how much power he can put into it. And now he really enjoys, well, I don't know if he really enjoys it,
Yeah.
but over other conditioning things, he'd very much rather do the rowing machine rather than run outside or go for a swim or do the assault bike, because he's totally gamified it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So, we have tons of, I have a client that I'm thinking in particular who likes skipping. And, how many skips can you do in 10 minutes? Or trying to even improve something like, let's say, for example, actually, you know what? I'm just going to completely change the subject here, but like the kettlebells.
Right.
So kettlebells are such an excellent way because, maybe you just couldn't get like the movement perfectly smooth,
There's like a skill aspect to it.
There's a skill aspect to it, and then you one day you like nail it and you're like, oh, okay, good. And now you can move on to the next thing. Now you got it up to your shoulder, and then now it's like, I'm gonna work on pressing it now. And then you have to work your way back down and weight, and then try to get back up to be able to press more. So that's essentially the way that you gamify the experience, and it makes it so much more entertaining.
Just got to improve your stats.
Yeah, exactly.
Level up in
life.
And
there's apps that you can track your workouts in. You could just track it in a simple notepad as well, and just try to beat your previous scores.
I mean, that's why a lot of these apps have those like achievements.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Just to suck you in, because like you can see the next achievement, and you're like, oh, I want like the gold one.
Yeah. Wasn't that a big thing for Xbox Live, where they had like achievements and people would just play the games to just unlock the achievement?
Yeah. Just
You could do that in life.
Yeah, you can just do that in life. Yeah. Which so we were just talking about tracking into notebooks and stuff, which kind of moves on to the next point, which is tracking your progress. And so tracking your progress, it's not quite the same as gamifying it. It does help you gamify it, but tracking your progress is just seeing like where you were in the past. That makes a huge difference. So, so my language teacher, she makes me record myself speaking. And then whenever you feel stuck, you can refer back to like your previous videos and being like, okay, I am 100% getting better, because you don't realize it, right? And that, when we track progress in clients' charts, oftentimes, like we talked about in previous podcasts, is you'll see somebody who stays the same weight the entire week. But the thing is, though, you look back like 3 weeks later and they're like 5 pounds lighter, but they're just looking at the numbers day to day. So that's why it's really important to track your progress, just to see how far you're coming. And so really highly recommend that, whether you're tracking in a spreadsheet or a notepad or anything like that.
Yeah, because if you're not kind of tracking to an extent or for any kind of period, you're kind of shooting in the dark, right? You don't know like if you're getting better or you're getting worse or you're staying stagnant. Just tracking for a certain amount of time, even if it's just writing things down in a notebook for like a squat, right? It's like last week I had 205 on my squat, but I felt like that was like a 7 out of 10 RPE, right? But then next week you hit that 2 out of 5, 205 again, but you hit it at a much, much less like RPE, which would mean like you basically didn't even have to try as much.
Oh, you know what is really cool that I've seen some powerlifters use? It's like these this thing that you attach to the bar, and then you can see how fast the bar is moving. So maybe because powerlifters they're just trying to gain like extra 5 pounds on their squat in a whole year or something like that, and they can track improvements
Like bar speed.
by how fast the bar is moving. Instead of just looking at a video and being like, I think that looks faster, they can look at it objectively, just see the numbers. It's like, yeah, that bar is moving fast now.
That's a game for sure.
So that's gamifying it, and at the same time tracking your progress to be able to review it and say like, okay, I am getting better. But the next thing, and really important as well, is making your workouts convenient. So huge. Because if your workouts, like, your gym is 30 minutes away and then you have to walk there, like all of that stuff, then you're just not going to do it. So you have to make sure that your workouts are really easy to do. And that's why I never compare myself to any of my clients, because I own a gym. The gym is literally right there. I don't even have to bring my shorts. I can just wear what I'm wearing right now, because this is what I train clients in, and I could go work out. But for a client, you have to go. You have to put on your shoes. You have to walk out of your house. Like we say the workouts are only 45 minutes, but the reality is like there is travel time and timing as well. And, your kids are screaming and there's stuff going on, and it's like, I have to go to the gym right now, So making it as convenient as possible is so important.
And I think the best way to describe convenience in the sense that we're talking about it is just being able to remove barriers. Whether that's actually having the equipment yourself, or having a gym that's close in proximity, or maybe even being in a certain time slot that's going to allow you to be in the best mental space for working out, right? So like blocking off certain times where it's like, it is the best time for you because like I don't have to pick up my kids, I don't have to worry about anything else. That's the best time for me to be in the right mental space for me to train. We have a lot of clients who come in and they have a full like gym set up at home. But the most convenient thing for them is to come in, have someone design a whole workout for them, and just be the most efficient person that they can within that 45-minute time span.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, because if you have a gym at home and you're spending it on your phone the entire time, then yeah, it's not going to be efficient. And then also because you're not going to be seeing results with it, and you're going to be feeling like really bored. That is another barrier. Right.
Yeah, the mental headspace is the barrier in that case,
exactly.
Right? Or the accountability is the barrier.
Yeah, totally. And so a lot of people, they'll say like something like, oh yeah, I can't go to the gym like 5 to 7 p.m. It's like so packed inside the gym. Everybody's coming in from after work or something like that. By the way, our gym is not like that. Our gym is always nice and empty. You never have to wait for any equipment because it is a private gym. So sign up. But but the thing is though, that is a barrier for people, going to the gym. There's like a lineup to use like the lat machine or something. And so what you want to do is work out on the weekend, Saturday morning, because there's no one there. You can do one workout on Wednesday before work, where you have to wake up a little bit earlier, maybe. And then you can work out on Saturday morning before you start your day. You don't even have to wake up any earlier because the gym doesn't start getting busy until like 11 on Saturdays. And then so now you can avoid that rush, and you can make it a lot easier for yourself to work out. But you have to, you just have to look at like, what's the barrier, and then just remove the barrier,
Whether that's physical or actually mental.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
But yeah, let's say if you wanted to run every single day, like your shoes should be at the door. You should have clean running gear ready to go at all times. That was like another thing for jiu-jitsu. When people started doing jiu-jitsu, it's like, oh yeah, I didn't go to jiu-jitsu today because I don't have any clean gis. Buy another gi. And that's how you end up with like 6 or 7 gis like some of the other guys, because like they only, you just don't want to wash the same gi over and over again every single day.
I have a gi problem.
Yeah. So, just removing those barriers makes it so much easier. But, and so the very last one is making your workouts flexible. So this is just like, if you feel like your workouts are just going to be squats on Monday, and then Tuesday is bench press, and then Thursday, and then it's so rigid and it's the exact same every single time, there's only so long you can do that for. It is pretty boring. But if you make it fun where it's like, what do I feel like doing today? And as I know it's a lot of people that are saying like, oh, yeah, like you're not going to see results because you have to hit your chest or your whatever twice per week, 3 times per week. You have to leave like 72 hours in
20
between
sets.
Yeah, exactly.
Muscle group.
But if I don't feel like hitting my legs, I'm not going to hit my legs. You know, I have to be in the right headspace and the right mood to hit my legs properly. So, and if I feel like I want to spend the entire workout doing split squat variations as opposed to doing squats, I'm just going to do that. You know, if I feel like, oh, I just don't want to load up so much weight on the bench press, I'd rather just do dumbbells today, I'm just going to do that. You know, if I don't feel like working out at all and I feel like I'm just going to go for a walk, I'm just going to do that. Because you have to make it flexible. If it's super rigid, then it's going to make it harder for you to do it. Because, you know, let's say today I woke up kind of tired, and typically I work out on this day, but I'm like dreading the idea of having to go and like warm up and like start doing some sort of workout. But I can go for a walk. I feel like I can go for a walk. Then I'm just going to go for a walk. It's not that big of a deal, you know?
I think one of the false notions in the fitness industry now, especially from an outsider view, is when you're doing any kind of strength training, you absolutely have to train like a bodybuilder, right? Where the split is you're going to do legs on one day and then you're going to hammer like your posterior chain on another day and you're going to do arms X amount of days. But it's not like that. Like, especially if your goal isn't to be a bodybuilder, you don't have to train like a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And that can go for the same way even if you are still doing strength training, right? If you're an athlete, you don't have to train like a bodybuilder, right? You can train some things fast. You can train some things light. You can train some things heavy if you want to. But giving yourself the flexibility, especially if if it matches your goals, that's what's going to benefit you more in the long run anyways.
Yeah, totally. Exactly. And like for most people, 90+% of people, what they're trying to do in the gym is look a little bit better, feel a little bit healthier, be able to do stuff that maybe potentially they couldn't do in the past, you know, play with their kids, like the basic stuff, right? Which you don't have to rep out like 225 on the bench press for, you know?
Right.
Yeah. So is there anything else that you want to throw in for that?
I would just say the flexibility, yes, but you know, you should do legs sometimes.
Like sometimes.
Yeah, you know those guys who are like, yeah, I don't feel like doing legs 3 months later.
Yeah.
Never hit legs.
Yeah.
Do some legs, you know?
Yeah, totally. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this episode. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.
See ya.